Shalom, giving all praise to help Hashem, Shai Hashem, Kakodat, Shalom to the whole select out there. I'm going to tell you this America is in decay, or America in decay, in Isaiah chapter 14. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to read this right here. So this is what I put up. America is in decay. Well, that is America in decay. I formed it as a question because I was going through Isaiah chapter 14. Like start from the 9th verse, around about the 11th verse, it says, the worm is spread underneath. And that's talking about the infrastructure of America's, breaking down the bridges, the roads. There's certain roads that you've been driving, certain bridges, roads, areas. I'm talking about in the tri-state area where you had, you didn't have any potholes and stuff like that, especially highways, freeways, and so forth. But now, everywhere you drive, you're hitting potholes, you're hitting, there's construction all over the place, and the roads are all messed up. And it wasn't like that 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So these are politicians that become mayors and governors and, different offices, presidents. They give you a bunch of promises, but they never, come through with their promises because they know that this place is in decline, and these administrations are corrupt. They find a way to funnel money to themselves and their friends under secret accounts. They have slush funds. So really, this is about how much you can get out of America and F the public. So, when you call yourself voting for somebody, it's all, especially Jake. Jake y'all rally for Biden to get back in there. What in the fuck did Biden do for you? Not a goddamn thing. Matter of fact, we were doing better when Trump was in there. He didn't do too much anyway. So this place is in decline. Y'all out there don't see it. You don't see this decline because before this is this place is going to be utterly destroyed, completely, wholly, by the missiles and the lasers. But the main thing that's going to do the damage are the missiles. The lasers are going to do a part coming from the ships, the chariots. But the main thing that's going to do the damage are the missiles, and that's the Most High's army. That's his, the scriptures say he's the Lord of Sabaoth. When you look that word up in the New Testament, it gives you a Greek word, but it goes back to a Hebrew word meaning troops. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it. Let me go into that. Let me just go into that. I'm going to the root words, and it's important to go into root words to get a better understanding or a deeper understanding of the scriptures. So that's James 5. And to prove that the apostles were prophets, James 5 is a prophecy about the end of the world. And the rich are you super rich Edomites that's going to lose all your riches. Okay, so let me come over here and bring it down to so it says here, matter of fact, I'll start from the top because you might say, well, do a video on that. I never got the breakdown on that. Okay, so I won't do the whole breakdown, but it says misuse of riches, meaning they're filtering the governmental money into private corporations and contracts to do work, and the politician that pushes this corporation do that or over another corporation is because they're getting pocket money, they're getting kicked back. You got well over $100 billion that was sent to the Ukraine. It seemed like as soon as they get the money, the following week, 2 weeks, I need more money. What's going on behind the scenes? That money's getting filtered back. They'll get a couple billion maybe here and there, but the majority of the money is getting filtered back to these politicians, different cronies in their pot, in the different funds. Hey, that's why when a politician runs for office, they're humble in the beginning. They live a middle class life, and then all of a sudden they become multi-millionaires, multi-billionaires, all of them. Obama, when he left, he's a multi-billionaire. I believe, I don't know the exact amount of money, but I know that Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, they used to do a lot of speeches. But see, what you don't understand is they'll do speeches for $100,000, $150,000. They'll speak for about an hour, a keynote speaker. And you got these super rich that are, which $150,000 is nothing, but they'll get $150,000 to doing a lecture, which that goes into that filtering because they're really getting the money because they're doing things behind the scene, their influence. So that's what's going on in America. Anybody that's in the politics, that the political, anybody that's a presidential candidate, I'm talking about this cycle, or any of them. If the guy, he doesn't become a nominee, guess what? He becomes richer. He becomes a millionaire, multi-millionaire. And then they'll get a position down the line. So this is all, so, you stupid ass Americans, they done pull the fast one over on you again. But anyway, people are beginning to wake up. And why are they beginning to wake up? They're waking up because of high prices. Biden made all these promises. I'm not going to tax you. Everything's going to be, you're going to have a better, look, Trump, the last year that Trump was in office, I remember gas was $2 a gallon. Some stations were $1.98 a gallon. Some stations were $2.03 a gallon. Then during the Biden administration, things just started shoot. I remember how it was shooting up. It went from $2 to $2.15 to $2.20 to $2.36, and I'm like, look, this is getting crazy. And it was like 2 weeks later, it would go up another 5 cents or 10 cents. Then it started shooting up near $3. They said, this is getting crazy. It went up to $3. People started kind of losing it. Then it went past $3 to $3.15, $3.20, $3.30, $3.40. Then it went up to $4, and people lost it. And then it went down a little, and then it went up past $5 a gallon. We're talking about a year and a half later into the Biden administration. It went from $2 the last year of Trump to over, not $5, to over $5 a gallon. So that's a, if you want to play the numbers game, the gas went up 150%. And at the same time, everything else was going up, especially food. Food was going up, high, sky high. And they were telling you, well, food went up, eggs went up 5%, and this meat went up 6%. No, that's bullshit. What math are you talking about? Chinese fucking math? Because we shop. We're not politicians. We don't have people go out and shop for us. We have to actually go out and shop. So we see the prices. The prices of food average across the board had to have gone up 50 plus percent. 50 I'm just throwing a number out there. You got to go in averages. And some things went up higher than others. So your gas went up, your food went up, our rent went up. Where I live, the rent went up because somebody had purchased where I lived at. I live in a building, and a lot of people that have been living here for years, they had to leave. They said, nah, we out of here. But then, people are making more money because they're going to their employers. They're saying, "Look, we need more money, or we're going to leave." So the bosses have no choice but to give them a raise, which makes sense. It's everybody. If everything goes up, and your pay don't go up, that's a pay cut. It's not so much that they're giving you the same pay; they're giving you a pay cut because the American people don't understand how the money system works. So they're finding out now. You know what I may do? I'm gonna read this in the King James, then I'll probably go to the NLT just to see what that says. All right. I was watching this one video. I don't. It's in my. I got it up on YouTube in my room, but if I knew the name of the video, I'll put it up. I'll maybe put it up later if it's still up, in my room. So, and there was a African woman. She goes into politics and stuff. So she saw the interview with this financial expert, and he was basically saying everything is crumbling in America. Then he was going into Obama, he was going into Bush, he was going into Biden and Trump, and he said, not one of them presidents, you know, helped really made America great. He said that in China you got these bullet trains, in Japan. He said there's not 1 mile of track for a bullet train. Meaning, forget about the bullet. Ain't gonna be no bullet train in America. They ain't gonna give the money for it. We're talking hundreds of billions of dollars. To fix this place is going to cost you trillions. And remember, we're up past 30 trillion. But at the real debt is really, we're talking well over 200 trillion. So they tell you 31 trillion, 32 trillion. It's really 200 plus trillion. And I'll discuss that in another video. So the infrastructure, everything's going in this place. Matter of fact, let me do this. It says American decline is the idea that the United States of America is diminishing in power geopolitically. That's why you have the BRICS nations. They no longer do when the BRICS nations, there's going to come a point where they're going to set up their own money system, and they're going to work with each other, and then you can get the materials from them, by way of imports. They export things mainly from China, but they can put a heavy tax on it. In other words, they can raise the prices. Okay, look, we're charging you all this one. If you're part of the BRICS, you get one price. If you're not a part of the BRICS, you get another price, which is the higher price. So if the U.S. the president, he declares a tariff, which tariff is a fancy way of saying a tax. In other words, if you can export things to America, but you got to pay a tax on it, because American people like the Toyotas and the Infinities because they're better cars. The Japanese cars are just mechanically better cars. So they'll say, okay, well, there's a 25% tariff. So you know what they'll do? They'll say, no problem. There's a 25% tariff. We want X amount of money. We're going to raise everything to 25%. So who do you think pays for it? The consumer pays for it. Trump called a tariff on China, and he said we're going to raise it to 25. And then people, yay! But you idiots don't realize that you got to fucking pay the 25%. The Chinese ain't paying the goddamn thing. And another thing about you people in America, you're a bunch of dumbasses, man. Especially you motherfuckers that got degrees. You can't even pay your college loans. This motherfucker is done, man. So it says American decline is the idea that the United States of America is diminishing in power, geopolitically, militarily, financially, economically, technologically. They're not creating anything. Demographically, you got people leaving America. You got people leaving New York to go to Florida. Now Florida's getting high. You got people going to Texas from California. And then you got people who originally from other countries, they're leaving and going back to their country, Isaiah chapter 13. Socially, morally, that's what the fornication, the cup in her hand is all about. It's morally. Go back to Kamala Harris going to Uganda, Africa, trying to get them to, reverse that law of killing Moes because it's under human rights. So they put everything. You can be a damn freak. You can change your plumbing and all that under humanitarian laws. That's your fornication. It has nothing to do with the micro C hip. Morally, spiritually, the Christianity is declining through the years. You go back 20 years, you have more Americans that were Christians than you do now. Hey, all you got to do is go to YouTube and put in leaving Christianity. So you got vocab coming against us. You need to get the people that are leaving Christianity. You need to go to them. And not one Israelite, vocab Malone been messing with us. Abu before that. Abu been messing with us when we got on YouTube. About 3-4 months in. And he works with Abu works with vocab Malone. And vocab Malone came on the scene, I would say 2016. So here it is, it's almost 2024. So we're talking about 8 years. And not one Israelite. You might have had one guy that was weak, or some women, mostly women that were weak, that were not grounded and settled, that followed you. Weak men and weak women. But you haven't really did anything to get Israelites to come back to your damn Christianity, your demonic Christianity. So you should just forget it. You should just move on and fuck with them Buddhists, or try to get your fellow Christians back in the Christian. Ain't nobody want to be no Christian. So that shows you right there that the IUIC is wrong on the mark of the beast, it's Christianity and all sin and all that. No, because Americans are leaving Christianity. And it has nothing to do with the image. The image is the image of the Roman Empire. They liken themselves as the Roman Empire because this is Rome all over again, the deadly wound being healed. It says culturally, in matters of healthcare, they cutting that. Hey, the prices are sky high. If you're upper middle class, you're making good money, you go to the doctor, you can go bankrupt because you had to go to the hospital because of cancer, because you can't qualify for Medicare, Medicaid. So this place is fucking done. It says and or on environmental issues. Your waters are polluted. So this place is done. This place is done. The only thing you got left is that the microchip, because the only reason why you're doing it because you're fulfilling the prophecies of the Most High. So anyway, let's do this. I'm not gonna make this long. It says the misuse of riches. It says, go to now, you rich man, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth eaten. And a garment eats moth eating a garment is all a form of decay. You got a back in the day we used to have mothballs, because the moth will go in there and they actually eat the material on so you have a big hole in your garment. So what does that mean? Your cover's blown, so to speak. That goes into being naked. Isaiah chapter 40, was that 47? They are naked because corrosion and corruption is showing the true colors of America, man. It's a facade. That's all it is. There's nothing to facade. And people see through that facade. It's like, you got certain movies that are made on sound stages. Like they might make a movie about DC, Washington, DC, but it's not in DC. It's actually a sound stage. All of your sitcoms, they're done in the sound stage, but they make it look like an actual house. Like if they walk up the stairs, like the Bill Cosby show, they walked up the stairs. That's a different house that's inside the house. So they'll walk up, they'll open the door, then they'll switch to another scene in the studio, and they're in a damn sound stage, a damn studio. That upstairs, if they go upstairs, that upstairs leads to nothing. They cut, then they come back down the stairs. There's no room up there. Well, what about the room? Rudy's room upstairs? Well, there ain't no upstairs. That's just a different part of the sound stage, which is on the same floor. But y'all believe that they're living in an actual house. What's this guy? Tyler Perry in Atlanta, he made a whole big lot of nothing but sound stages. If you go to YouTube, you put in, sound stage of this guy, Tyler Perry. He made a replica of the White House in case he had to make a movie about the White House. And look just like the White House, man. Then they have replicas of like certain areas in New York City. So this place is nothing but a facade, man. So you people getting ready to vote are a bunch of suckers, man. Your life is not going to change. Has your life changed? If you go back 20, 30 years, 40 years, you've been living in a certain lifestyle. You had Democrats, Republicans, Democrats, Republicans, Democrat, Republican. Has your life, you vote Democrat, right? Has your life changed in 8 years of Obama being a president? Oh, we finally got Obama. We're going to do something. Hey, you live the same fucking way. You say making the same goddamn money. So let's read on. It says, your gold and your silver, which is real money, which the American people, the U.S. citizens, don't understand real money at all. They don't understand how inflation works. Biden said, I'm gonna raise taxes on people that's making 400, families is making 400,000 a year and up. So you said, well, I only make 50,000. My wife makes 30,000, so we're good. But what you don't understand is you pay the tax, you pay the hidden tax in the form of inflation, dumbass. Like I said, they in disbelief of how stupid you are, and how you don't realize that they're pulling the rug from under you, man. They got the wool over your eye. Isaiah 25 and 7. It says, let me read the third verse again. Your gold and your silver is cankered, which is real money, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Who's going to eat your flesh as it was fire? The NATO nations, Russia, and the people that are backing Russia. This war is going to start over the small hats. The least of them shall draw them out. That's the small hats. Over a situation with Iran and that area of land in the Great Levant, and Russia's going to be involved. The U.S. is going to do something, and Russia's going to be there, just like Ukraine. Who keeps the war going in Ukraine against Russia? The U.S. and NATO, and really it's the U.S. So the same thing's going to happen when they go. Something's going to happen where they're going to send troops down to Iran, and Russia's going to be there backing them up with money, weapons, and even troops. And it's going to escalate. It's going to escalate to a nuclear war. So this can happen next year sometime, next year and a half. We hope that it happens sometime in 2024. We want to be out of this bitch. It says ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. What does it mean to heap something? To stack something on top of something. That's called old money. You got these old, the Oppenheimers, the Rothschilds. They're multi-trillionaires, not billionaires. And if you notice, the super rich, the old money, they don't want you to know who they are. See, it's the new rich. They want to flaunt their riches. And they're really just billionaires, 100 billion, 150 billion. They don't, like I said, you have another class, a super elite class, which are trillionaires. And the Rothschilds can clean up this country overnight, or start the process. They can clean this country. They can clean this country up and make it back to the old way. And Trump is not going to do that. He said, "Let's make America great again." He doesn't have the money to make America great again. And we were on the this was last night. We were on the West Side Highway down around 57th Street, which is the opening of the West Side Highway. And when you're going up the highway, before you pass 72nd Street, there's an exit there for 72nd Street, which is Riverside Drive Park, Riverside Drive. And on the right hand side, you have all these buildings. I remember, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, all those buildings said Trump on it. Trump, 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 Trump. Go there now. You ain't gonna see one sign that says Trump. What do you think? Trump said, "I don't want my name up there." No, he doesn't own those buildings, man. And Trump gets money for his name. They'll have a guy that owns a building, and then they'll say, "We're gonna call it Trump, Trump, whatever, Trump building, Trump this, Trump Tower 2, and we're gonna pay you for your name." But no, I own all. You don't own shit. He's a welfare case. That guy's probably worth, if 100 million. So how the fuck you gonna make America great with 100 million? You're just a puppet, just like Biden is a puppet, just like Zelensky is a puppet. They're all puppets, man. It said, "Your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh." That's the nuclear fire, and that includes the NATO nations. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. We're in the last days. Behold, the high of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. So now that word Sabaoth does not mean Sabbath. So now you got to click. So the word, I'm going to let you listen to the word.
Strong's G 4519. Sabaoth. Sabaoth.
Which is a Greek way of saying Tazaba'ah. That's the root. Tazaba or Tazaba'ah. That which goes forth, army, war, warfare, host, army, host, or organizing army, hosts of angels, right? That the armies of the Most High in the heavens are the angels. The missiles are also known as the hosts. Those missiles, those 200,000, those 200 million missiles in Revelation 9, are not angels, they're missiles. Sun, moon, and stars, right? The hosts of heaven, of whole creation, war, warfare, service, go out to war service. So let me go into the root of this word. Tazaba, Tazabaa. Mustereth the host of the battle, to go forth, war, fight, serve, to wage war, fight, go forth to war, to serve at sacred tent, to cause to go forth, muster. He mustereth the host of the battle. So now when you go to Isaiah, right, the 13th chapter, that army is talking about the missiles. Joel, the 2nd chapter, is talking about the missiles. Revelation 9, the 9th chapter, is talking about the missiles. So you're not going to get these secrets if you don't go into the Hebrew, if you don't click on the word. So the army is what? The army are the missiles. They're going to do the damage. What's going to utterly destroy Babylon inside of an hour or in an hour? The missiles. They haven't even tested a hypersonic missile. You can't test it. ICBM, American ICBM. You can't test it. You cannot test it. So we don't know what damage is going to. We do know utter destruction. Time of Jacob's trouble. It says, ye have lived in pleasure on the earth. When you had us in captivity, you were really living in pleasure. Now you got the super rich and you got really the middle class is going poor. You know how many people that are homeless that had good jobs, that were middle class, upper middle class, that had good jobs. Their wife had a good job. They had a good job. They had degrees. A lot of these homeless people have degrees. A degree don't mean a damn thing, man. So you have the super rich, you have the rich, then you pretty much have the poor, and you have a very small percentage of the middle class. It says, and been wanton, ye have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, the Israelites. You made us work on the plantations. You took down Gad and the northern kingdom. What does it say? You wore out the saints of the Most High, Daniel 7. But we're not the people. As a video I was watching on Pocahontas, and the brother says that the Pocahontas line go back to the Israelites. And a lot of these Edomites that came over here, after Columbus, these religious zealots and these Christians, pastors, when they came over here, a lot of them, they said these people that we're encountering are actually Israelites. That's what they use. They don't say that no more. They say that behind closed doors. But back then, we talking about as far back as the 1500s, the 1600s, 1700s, even into the 1800s, 1900s, they kept it. They said, don't say nothing about it. But it was a common thing to say that the people in North America, the Indios of North America, are the descendants of Israel. That used to be common knowledge. It says, ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doeth not resist you, because we have no power to resist you. Be patient therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. So we're not to raise up armies. We're not to ask for reparation. You ain't get no reparations. Okay, now if they were to give you a check, you take the check, but they still going into captivity. If somehow somebody was able to get all these jakes a check, You get that check. You find out, is there any strings attached? You find out there's no strings attached. You get that check. You do what you can with that check. But they can't say, oh, if they say, well, we'll give you $1 million a year, but you can't put us in slavery. I said, nah, keep your fucking money. We want you. True reparation is, whatever whoever put somebody in captivity must go into captivity. And whoever killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. That's true reparations. It's called payback, reciprocity, karma, whatever you want to call it. It said, be patient thereof, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandmen waited for the precious fruit of the earth and have long patience for it until he received the early and latter rain. The early and latter rain is talking about the Feast of Weeks. There's really two Feast of Weeks right after the Passover and at the end of the summer. But they go into detail in the law on the first one. But there's two times of the year you bring in crops. You plant and you bring in crops 2 times in a year. So the second rain, you're storing up food for the winter. And that's what Gad did. They stored food for the winter. It said, be ye also patient, establish your hearts for the coming of the Lord, draw up nigh, grudge not one another against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth before the door. It goes to say, take my brethren the prophets who have spoken in the name. Ooh. If you're a prophet, you have to know the name of the Lord. If you don't know the name of the Lord, guess what? You're not a prophet. If you're calling on Christ and Jesus and Most High and Christ bless, you're not a prophet of the Lord. You can't say the prophets of the Lord did this, but they call on Christ. It says, 10th verse, take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord, except for now, except for this captivity. They don't know the name of the Lord. If you claim to be a prophet and you don't know the name of the Lord, first thing I'm going to do, well, we're prophets. We're prophets too. First thing I'm going to ask you, I'm going to say, what's the name of the Most High and what's his son's name? If you say Yahweh and Yahshua, I'm going to say, look, the Most High ain't dealing with you. Then I might even, I said, give me a paper and pencil, write the name of Yahweh, write it. They won't be able to write it. And if they do write it, tell them, show them the part where it says Howard, and what does that mean? Where's the part where Yah is? They don't know where it is. Break it down, spell it. They don't know the Hebrew. You got to know some Hebrew in order for you to call the name the right way. So this scripture cuts all you guys that claim that you prophets and the Most High is dealing with you. The Lord will do nothing but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. So is the name, show me a scripture where the name of the Lord was secret, where the Most High said, well, I'm not going to give you my name. Now the angel during the time of the birth of Samson, his father Manoah, he asked his name. And he said, look, don't worry about my name, being that my name is secret. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about my name. Don't give a damn about my name. You don't need to know my name, man. Seeing that is a secret. So the Most High said, but I will do nothing, but I revealeth my secrets unto the servants of prophets. But except I'm not going to give you my name. You see how stupid that shit sounds? And there's this guy, the group of guys that coming around going to different camps saying that this guy's a Messiah. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to say, number one, well, I'm going to do a lot of things, which I know he can't do. But number one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to say, what's the Most High, what's the Heavenly Father's name? And if he says, he might say Yahweh. He might say Yahweh. I said, what's the son of Jesus in the Hebrew? If he says Yahweh Shai, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go into scriptures. I might go into Daniel 11th chapter, maybe the 4th verse. I said, what does that mean? Break that down. He doesn't know. I might go into Daniel 8. He doesn't know that. A lot of you Israelites, one Westers don't know them breakdowns. I might go into 2nd Ezra 11 or 2nd Ezra 12 and pull out something. And I say, what is that talking about? I can go into a number of different scriptures. I can ask him, the so-called current white man, what people did they descend from? Now he might say Japhet. I already know. I'm doing a series of tests to see if this man is truly a man. And I know that dude with the dreadlocks with his people, that's a joke. That's why nobody's accepting these guys. It came out of nowhere. Look, I'm Jesus. I'm the Lord. Come on now. So I mean, I don't got to read no more, but what I'm going to do is, so I read this. I'm not going to try to make this long, but here it goes. American decline is the idea that the United States of America is diminishing in power, geopolitically, militarily, financially. Oh, I have forborn to fight. That's in Nahum 3. It said they have become like women and they have forborn to fight. They don't want to fight. Well, if there's a major war between Russia, if there's a ground war between Russian troops and American troops, you're gonna have a hard time getting recruits, man. Ain't nobody want to go. Hey, when you go to war, there's a good chance that you're gonna die, or you can get captured and tortured. So you get captured. You be better off. The blessing is to die over there. You might kill a couple people, but you're gonna eventually die. You're gonna die. And let's say you make it through all that, you may come back with some type of disease that was from a chemical explosion or whatever. So you're going to see that too. You're going to see a lot of these American men and women, they're not going to join the military. You don't see long lines at recruiting stations. When you ever see a long line at any recruiting station? We used to have a camp on Fordham Road, right on Grand Concourse, and there's a recruiting station right there. We used to go out on Saturdays. Guess what? The recruiting station was closed on a Saturday. If you went during the week, there's no line of people wanting to join. All right. So, how do you think they're going to get people to join? They're going to call for a draft. And what people going to do? They're going to look to get out of here. They're going to try to move to Canada. They're going to move out. Do what they got to do. They're not going to want to go. Some of them said just lock my ass up for 3 years because that's what they did. If you did not, agree to the, because I had to sign one of them cards. When I hit 18, they sent it in the mail. They said, okay, you have to sign for the selective services, meaning that if there's a major war, they can call on me in the draft. That's what they call on, the ones that have signed that card and you did it through the post office. Your name, your address, social, whatever, gave all your information, and they knew. They pull your card up. Oh, okay, we're gonna get him. Send you a letter. Come down to the local recruiting station, and they're gonna explain to you that you have been drafted. You was on the list, and it's on the list. It's a lottery. And when you go back to like the NAM, they made sure Jake, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Gad, Reuben, they made sure they was in the front line. They made sure the white boys was in the back. The hardest part of the battle. So a lot of you Jakes ain't gonna, when you said, nah, just lock my ass up for 3 years or whatever, or they're gonna try to do, or they might say, oh, well, I got a felony. But you know what they're gonna do? They'll change the laws. You can be a felon, because they're desperate, man. They're desperate. And then forget about Esau. Esau don't want to fight. Esau ain't gonna. Esau knows that Esau got sense. One thing that Esau got that a lot of you niggas don't got, they got fucking sense. They see what's going on. Especially these patriot Edomites. They ain't fighting no goddamn war because they know it's going to the bankers and the super rich. So this place is done. This place is done. The only thing left is for the chip to be instituted in this country and around the world, and then the missiles and us being delivered. So I'm praying that we out of here. We ain't gonna be out of here in no 2023. It'll be nice if we were, but it'll be, pray that we out of here in 2024. We might be here until 2025, but we ain't gonna be here no another 50 years. So now let me go to Isaiah 14. And the key point is around about the 9th verse. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start from the top. Okay, it says Israel's taunt. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna read the first verse and I'm gonna go to the commentary. It's always good to go to the commentary just to see what they're thinking. And I always say this, I said they're either hit or miss. Sometimes they'll say, you'd be surprised. They'll say something that, wow, they agree with what we're saying, but other times they'll say, they won't say nothing, or they'll say something completely different. Like if you go to Daniel 7, we know that's talking about a prophecy that's getting ready to come to pass. In our time, they'll say, well, that's talking about Antiochus Epiphanes and Alexander. No, it's not talking about that, except for the earlier verses. So it says, for Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Yasha'Allah and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So this is a future tense. It said, for the Lord will have, will meaning ultimately in the future. Let's see what the commentators say. Okay, so it says the immediate result of the judgment on Babylon will be the emancipation of Israel from captivity. Yet we'll choose Israel, formerly strangers. Oh, let me see what that says. Strangers, the sojourners. Right, they're right on that. The sojourners are Israelites. So they're right on that. The strangers shall be joined unto the Israelites from that were scattered in different lands, or protected guests, which are Israelites, here used as in latter Hebrew with the sense of a proselyte. Right, because even the scribes and the Pharisees accepted proselytes, which were Israel. Oh, wow. Isaiah 56, 3-7. So the Cambridge is telling you that the strangers in Isaiah 14:1 and Isaiah 56:3 are Israelites. Zechariah 2:11, Zechariah 8:21-23, Zechariah 2:12. So they tell you the immediate result of the judgment on Babylon. So let's go with the fact that it's talking about ancient Babylon. It's not talking about ancient Babylon because Israel, the northern kingdom, is on the other side of the world. So it was said Judah will be emancipated. That was a wrong word. Of Israel from captivity. So let's go to the second verse. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place in the house of Israel, which is Jacob and Judah and Israel, shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. I'm going to put up a quick prayer. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Shalak Rayam, Wa Ashim, Wa Badyam, Wa Haragyam, Wa Nashim, Wa Mashapatyam, Aita, 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 to all, every and all Israelite, especially of the various camps that you bring death and destruction upon them, and even in GMS, the ones that have creeped in unawares, the demons that are in GMS bring death and the sudden destruction upon them and get rid of them, bring judgment against them wicked niggas. So if there's any, you know, people crept in unawares in GMS and you ain't right, the Most High is going to destroy you. A lot of you are going to take that chip. It says, and the people shall possess them, serve themselves hires to them for the idea of, okay, they answered it right. Isaiah 60 and 10. So that didn't happen in the ancient Babylon, because we went from under the Babylonian rulership to the Medo-Persian rulership. So we couldn't enslave the Babylonians because they were the servants and slaves of the Medo-Persian Empire. So Isaiah chapter 14 has nothing to do at all with ancient Babylon. It's talking about another Babylon. We know what Babylon is talking about. Except for the idea of chapter Isaiah 60 verse 10, and the sons of strangers shall build up your walls, and their kings shall minister to you. For in my wrath I smote you, but in my favor have I had mercy on you. As you read this whole chapter, it's talking about captivity. Jump to the 14th verse. The sons also of them that afflicted thee, you shall come bending. Those people that afflicted us, they're gonna come bending to you, and all they that hate, that despise you, shall bow themselves down. They didn't do that because we went from one captivity under the Babylonians directly under the exactly under the Medo-Persian Empire. So they're telling you the truth, but they're not telling you. They should be saying that this Babylon is not talking about the ancient Babylon. Isaiah 61 and 5, and strangers shall stand and feed your flocks. Those are the other nations. And the sons of alien, the other nations, shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. In other words, in slavery, they put you on a plantation. What is a plantation? A place where you plant things. So the same thing in the ancient world. When they put you in slavery, they put you out there in the field. Now, when you look this word of plowman, a plowman means one who plows the ground but does not reap the benefits of the ground. Meaning the other way, it means you're a slave. That's what it means. So now let's come back over here. So now we know that this is not talking about ancient Babylon. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but now I'm going to jump right down to the 9th verse. Hell, the word hell means the grave. Let's see what it means. Right. The word hell means the grave. Sha'awal. She'al, grave, hell, pit, underworld. They put you 6 feet under, so that's the underworld. Well, it said the wicked sent there for punishment. No, the wicked and the righteous. Righteous, not abandoned to it. Extreme. See, this is crap. What it actually means is grave or pit or tomb. That's why when the Lord was put in the tomb for 3 days and 3 nights, he was put in. He said, he said, just as Jonah was put in the belly of the fish for 3 days and 3 nights, I shall also be in the heart of the earth. And what did Jonah say? He said, I am in hell, not so many words. Well, he actually used the word hell. He wasn't in hell, he was in the belly of the fish. The Lord being in hell, he was in the grave. Lazarus was in hell for 4 days. He began to decompose. So let's come on back. So it says, so we know that it's talking about a dead state. These are these nations coming back because they remember what America did. It tells you in Daniel 7, their look was more stout than their fellows. That's talking about the other European nations. So these other European nations really hate the American people, the Edomites, the government. It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at that coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even the chief ones of the earth. The other kings of the nations, leaders, it have raised up from their throne all the kings of the nations. Now I'm going to read this in the. This is the King James. I'm going to read this in the. I don't know why I did that. Let me do this. Okay, 9th verse. In the place of the dead, there is excitement over your arrival, the arrival of Esau coming down. They see you coming down, so they're excited about that. The spirits, the souls of world leaders and mighty kings long dead, that's reincarnation, stand up to see you or to see your downfall. With one voice, they all cry out, now you are as weak as we are. Your might and your power were bruised or buried, with you. The sound of the harp in your palace or palaces has ceased. Now maggots are your sheet and worms your blanket. Now it's a little different in the King James. It's talking about corrosion. The bridges are falling, the highways are falling. Certain parts of America looks like a third world country, and it's turning into a third world country. Now it goes into "O Shining Star." Now, in the King James, it's Lucifer, which means "O Shining Star." That's all it means. Yahweh Shai is also known as Lucifer. Lucifer doesn't mean the devil; it just means a old day star. The first, when you get up in the morning, the first star you see, they used to call that star Lucifer, which is the north, the star to the north. They also call the morning star. So back in the day, they used to call it Lucifer. Just means bright shining star. That's all it means. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.